everyone, so this is going to be the global predictions. I did one in September and I think I did maybe a hinted towards October, but then I haven't since then, and I've had notes since October and November, and I've recently got notes, and again I think it's a good time to do some, so I'm going to do that. I think this is going to be about 2 or 3 parts, and I'll try and do them regularly if you like them as well. I'm just smoking Palo Santo. Check out the read that was yesterday on Meghan, Princess of Wales, Harry, and I usually tend to tap into anyone's energy that I'm coming across as well, so it's not always just what's in the title. You'll find that there's regular shorts as well for your signs, elementals, and sometimes you might need to just click on my channel to see what is scheduled, but there's always something every day, so you know that you've got something. Right, so let's put this down. Hope everyone's well. I'm going to go to some of the notes that I had previously. Where's the note? How is everyone feeling? I'm picking up on some people's energy already. Anxiety, shortness of breath. I've got that in me from whoever's going to tune into this. It might not be yourself directly who's hearing this, but there's somebody. I'm picking up on that energy. I was okay. So a lot of anxiety at the moment. Shortness of breath through that anxiety. So going to what I had noted in October. Okay, some of it probably mentioned in September, and some of it I also probably might have come to light. So I mean, I'm not going to run through everything. Sometimes I mention some of these global predictions in some of the energy reads I do as well, so it's hard to track where I've made a prediction that's come true. But like, for example, Matthew Perry, I think his toxicology report has come out, and was it intoxicated with ketamine? And I did say in the read there was negligence, but it's not, because quite a few people put about a spiked drink and the assistant, and I just was not getting that. It doesn't matter how many tarot readers, channelers got that. I was not getting that. I also mentioned about what he might have been on, not street drugs, but 2 other, like a substance he might have been a bit addicted to, but also painkillers and other types of drugs as opposed to like street drugs, like for example heroin or crystal meth. So everything I say in this is, I'm going to put the disclaimer, but I mean I'm doing predictions, but I'm just going to put a disclaimer because, you know, there might be some celebrity stuff, so this is for entertainment purposes only. Use your own facts and research, and you know, look up whatever you need to and use your own discernment. Take what you want to take, leave the rest behind. It is for entertainment purposes only, the whole video, and most of my videos are. Now, back in October, I was getting something about Iceland. Iceland, I don't know, it might have been in the news or not. I don't really watch the news, but I was getting something about, you know, a bit, not like Hawaii where they've gone in, but they've gone in to just take over some of the land. But this is Iceland where they might invest, but it's actually investing to take some resource to build from that resource, maybe a liquid or something. So it's interesting to watch how Iceland might come into the news. And again, this is from October time. Also, Saudi Arabia in the Middle East. I also am getting right now, I'm getting that somewhere in the Middle East they might build something like a Middle East, not Middle East, more the Gulf countries, something like an entertainment sort of island, or land or hub where there's a group of hotels, and then there's maybe, you know, Cirque du Soleil or casinos, and then a strip of like malls to shop outside and or inside. I'm not saying necessarily like Hollywood, maybe like Vegas kind of style stuff. I'm getting something like that. In October, I was getting something about like the Boston murders. And I don't know if there's been a confession around that. But I did mention in September about DNA testing being very sharp at this moment in time. Something about South African's economy and currency. I was getting the UK royals, and that's come into play. Workforce strikes of more industries going on, as well as the government and hospitals protests. We've had a lot of those in the UK. I might have mentioned there's Summer Wells, just a brief countdown, and I think something recently has come into the news. I don't know what it is, or it just happened to come up, Summer Wells, and I noticed someone had posted something one day ago, so maybe there's something new on the Summer Wells, but I know that there's only a countdown on this. Very different to Nicola Bulley and Maddie's case. A lot around solar plexus, and I think that came up for us in December's predictions as well, and I've had it in October. November I didn't do it either. I didn't do the energy predictions. I mentioned in September about Africa, and I mentioned about earthquake and floods, and I believe in Morocco they had earthquakes. I mentioned about Elon Musk coming into the news, not necessarily for his normal in the news, but for various stuff, and I think he recently come into the news for, what was he, who was in the news that he was actually questioned if he knew anything about it just recently. And then prior to that, because his wife had a son. But there was something about, was it around Russell Brand he was questioned? I can't remember, but he came into the news. I mentioned about Puff Daddy in October, in September readings, that something's going to come out, and there's also more to come out around the death of Kim Porter. And I also think there's going to be a finding or a paper or something around the book she was writing. But as soon as one thing comes out, it's going to be a can of worms for him. And that is happening. I did mention the banks, so that is happening. Matthew Perry, the royals I mentioned. Harry, I'm concerned about his energy right now, I've got to be honest. And I feel like he's got a lot of resent and remorse. And I do feel like he's going to end up, I'm going to do an energy read on him, but I think he's going to end up going down a bit of a spiritual path, and he's going to be absolutely transformed, but he needs to heal. And I think his transformation is going to come from deep healing. Well, then he's going to turn 100% in terms of who he is right now. His aura is not fully present with him. And he's not happy regardless of what anyone says about everything. I feel like he feels alone, and I feel like he calls upon his mother for comfort because he feels so alone. I'm going to do an energy read as well, because I do think that, you know, I'll do an energy read about him going back to the UK. A divorce, etc. like that. So that I will be doing to tap into his energy. But yeah, his energy is not okay right now. So let's go into the recent ones I've done. The recent. I will be doing an intuitive read on one of the victims of Jack the Ripper. I've kept that noted, and I've done a test on whether I should read, and I don't know anything about the Ripper victims. And in fact, I was getting confused with, no, hang on a sec. Jack the Ripper and the Yorkshire Ripper. It is Jack the Ripper, isn't it? This is why a live would be helpful. I plan to do these things live when we get to the stage that you're allowed live on YouTube. I just think it's a lot easier than recording. It's more interactive for anyone who wants to hop on. I know who I'm to read on is Jack the Ripper in the 1800s, but I think there was a Yorkshire Ripper, Peter Sutcliffe. And initially, when I was trying to just tap into the energy and I saw the 1800s, I was like, bloody hell, was it that far long ago? And then I realised there's Jack the Ripper, who they never really knew who he was. And then there was Peter Sutcliffe, who they did know. I'm sure he was the Yorkshire Ripper. Anyway, so that is coming up. I've not forgotten, that is coming up. And then there's always sign readings, elementals and shorts for you. Now for the recent predictions, and I know that there's going to be a part 2 or regular ones as well. I've got them all noted all over my phone. I'm just trying to calm the energy that I'm pulling in from someone's energy. Is very anxious. And there's a lot of blockage in our energies in terms of our solar plexus and the sacral. And it's blocked to the point of tightness in the breath. So that is a collective energy right now. Now, the first thing I want to do, if you're watching from the UK and if you're watching from abroad, this is going to be world predictions. The UK, I think they've said there's going to be power cuts. And I just want to ask, is there going to be anything over on Christmas Day? Okay. That's their communication and working on it. The best way forward to do it. Christmas is going to be fine because they're just like, but they're still choosing the dates. I do think that it will be very soon, like end of December, beginning of Jan, but I don't think it's going to be on Christmas Day. It might be in small sporadic cuts, like you've got a certain hour there where they say, you know, after this time it's going to be cut if they go ahead with it. Now, what I am getting with that is that I don't know why the energy is very uneasy. It's actually difficult for me to do this video. A lot of unease at the moment. And I wonder if this is the energy of tapping into the UK collectively. Bear with me. So a lot of the things that we in the UK was like change to electricity, that was very pushed forward for everyone, and electric meters and etc. And now with power cuts, that really puts everyone in a really difficult situation, where in the past, if some of your stuff was gas, you could cope, you know, or if gas was to be cut out, then you've got the electricity, or you can run to the supermarket and get like a little electric heater or a little stove, electric stove, and continue. But we've been pushed in a situation where we're left in, you know, you won't be able to continue with certain things if they do it. But I do think that they're going to do it in ways where it's manageable, and they're not going to be able to continue to do it for a very long time, because the impact it's going to have on people is going to be beyond what they're saying they're trying to save. And I dare say that all of the MPs, and disclaimer, this is for entertainment purposes, and the levels similar to when they said about COVID, don't go see this person, don't go see that person, be in your own household. and then somewhere in the country there was parties going on, and someone getting off with someone else on the higher scales I'm talking about. I think you know what I mean. So I wonder if their houses are going to be fine as well. So I think we're going to be fine. And I think, again, I want to say that this is all part of a shifting. Like in the past, if you go many years past, we'd just be like, okay, let's see what they announce, when it will be, and we'll just try and prep for it. But now there's I'm getting the word also resentment. There's going to be a building of resentment, and that means rebellion. But we're rebelling because we have a right, and that's why we're going to see a right and a voice of what actually makes sense, like the unveiling of the evil or what is masking other distractions. So I truly believe if there wasn't the war in the Ukraine and the Middle East, and maybe if the Ukraine, just the Ukraine, not the Middle East, not two at the same time, I believe another C or virus would have been, the news of the world, really. But I think there's enough distractions to put in whatever they're working on. Now with YouTube, I'm going to go out and say it. Well, sometimes I look at the views that I get, and then an hour later I've got no views. And I'm not saying that I get many views anyway, but that is also playing with the algorithm. And that's why I say it's really helpful when you comment and like, you don't even have to write me anything, just put an emoji. And sometimes I can't even see your comment unless I click on the notification. And then if I click via, via another coaching channel to see my channel, then I can't even see the comment. But it's there when I click on my notification to respond to you. So a lot of messing around, it's really annoying. Or if I click on a video and then I go back after a bit and a friend says they've clicked and they've seen it, there'll be one view. So how is that happening? Or I'll actually be with a mate, or if it's a partner, if it's my partner or whoever it is, a family member, then they click on it and then that view is not added. And so it's I wish they did stuff without messing with stuff. There's definitely something about the eye of the storm. Eye of the storm. And I think the US needs to be careful on certain storms that are going to be reported. These could be man-made, purposely. Again, more protests in the UK, more so that I'm seeing. A celeb in the UK passing. Now this doesn't mean it's for January or so on. It could be, I can't put a time on it. And I know you're probably going to say, well, that's not very helpful, because it could be like 10 years. And of course the celebrity is going to pass in 10 years. But I'm not here to channel a time, because I'm not doing a personal reading or channeling. I'm just saying, look out for these things. I also see a girl brand, and I think it's from the UK, that's going to be in the news. And something about two celebrities in the news, in the media, a lot of hype around them. And when you see this, you'll understand what I'm saying about the two celebrities. I mentioned in September something about data breach, hospital data information, and I still get something about data breach, a document, a paper, data breach, a scandal to come out. It might not be a hospital or data of patients, but there is something of data breach, document, scandal to come out. There's going to be a celebrity in Hollywood in the news. So this is not someone who's in the news right now, not like Puff Daddy. There's going to be a lot opened that were cases that were a bit closed and revisited. I think we're going to see a bit more on Matt Perry in terms of inheritance. I'm trying to keep it general though. A celeb in Hollywood in the news. I think Trump is still going to be in the news for some time, and I can see him, you know, standing and then the cameras are clicking. So I don't know if that's kind of like he's coming out of something in victory, or he's doing a stand, walking away from something, and he actually says something. I see in terms of the eye of the storms and storms, I see Florida again. The royals are going to be in the news. Continue to be in the news. And like I said, Harry needs help. And I'm not saying he's caused this upon himself, but yeah. I was going to do an energy read on Rishi Sunak and David Cameron, which is rather strange that he's been called back in as a foreign prime minister. And I can see why, because I think he's more experienced than Sunak. And I can see in the background how he's probably going to be not a mentor, but I think Sunak is going to rely on him quite a bit, or go to him at certain instances for guidance or insight, like aiding him behind the scene. And I might still do a read on them both. Just like, how did Cameron step in again? And where is that going to go? There's going to be storms and something ahead of the US election. And there'll be a question on whether it will go ahead, but it will go ahead. I feel like there's going to be a lot happening. December, the rest of December might be a bit quiet, but a lot happening by March. Like, so in January and February, there's going to be a lot happening. Nothing to be scared of. Remember, awareness is just bringing to your awareness. And the main thing here is not feed into fear. There's nothing that I'm stating that is a shock, really. Like, for example, if you're in the UK and I said, okay, tomorrow X country is going to invade us, and that's something. But in general, some of these are just bringing insight to awareness. But we still have our own, and we need to not feed into the fear. Like I said, as one thing calms down, there's going to be something else that tries to feed us into fear. And it's difficult not to get dragged in, because, you know, we are humans at the end of the day. I was going to do an intuitive read on Disney and see if there's some dark energy around that. I am picking up, and I need to ask if there's something around, yeah, some dark energy around something there. But I do see Disney or Warner Brothers in the news. It's going to be big. Something about the 27th of December. Some kind of news around that date. Those of you that are aware of Ellen DeGeneres, she retired, didn't she? But I see her being in the news. I'm shuffling the cards, I've not asked. At this moment in time, we need to use our discernment and also our inner strength. Knowing we have the strength, but we keep it inner strength at the moment. And when it's time for our energy to be out there, then that's when we go for it. But yeah, Ellen DeGeneres, something about her being in the news. Yeah. I think if anyone takes Trump down, it's going to be a feminine energy. That's what I'm feeling. I also want to say something. Like, religion was never put in purpose to take people down or to segregate people or to isolate people or divide people or cause wars or anything like that. And we use it on, like for example, me and you don't, but, or me and whoever's watching this. But that's what's happening around the world, and then they say it's religion. And it's all distorted news. A lot of it's the big agendas behind the news. It's hidden agendas behind the news. I see Putin himself in the news. Putin himself in the news. There might be something about new vaccinations around viruses. Again, that will come after some distractions calm down to bring this in. Because there's so much going on at the moment, they couldn't bring it in. If you remember, I know that the US started speaking about it and then it died down. And I think the UK were going to begin to speak about it, but I think they were touching base on it very sensitively because what happened within the UK and Parliament and government, and a lot of people have been sick because of the vaccinations. So I think they were treading very carefully, testing it, while as the US started announcing that some states needed to have the vaccine, and then that sort of died down. I don't know if some people ended up starting to have the vaccine, maybe people are in the fear. There's definitely a virus going around that, you know, people are not sure if it's the flu or if it's COVID. I said the C word. But there is a virus going around, and that's worldwide. Just like the flu, but maybe feel worse, you know, just taking a bit longer. But yeah, they didn't need to use the C or new injections as a diversion because there was so much going on. There's something about candy or sweets, a food company that has candy or sweets that might come into the news. Aviation, planes in airports. I'm also getting like the Pope and the Vatican in the news around the Vatican and the Pope. And what I want to say with that, like the Vatican, a lot of those, you know, sort of things rule some of the societies that that we call hidden societies, let's say that. North Korea, the North Korean president, something about him. Now, if Labour doesn't get stronger in the UK, the Tories might come in. If they end up having someone strong, they might end up getting in at some stage. people keep asking if William and Kate will take the throne. They will take the throne. And yeah, Charles might choose to step down. I think the message about Charles stepping down, a lot of people are confusing with something actually happening to him. And it's always like, you know, putting a time frame on, but it doesn't really matter about a time frame. But I am getting that, and they will take the throne. And then it'll be a good time to probably ask how the monarch will be after that. I think Meghan and Harry should be taken off the succession plan of the royals. They should be taken off the royal payroll. I was going to do, actually, let's do that. Let's ask now, was Doria, Meghan's mum, on the royal pay for looking after the children as a nanny? Was Doria on the royal pay, Queen of Pentacles? Yes. I don't know if that's obvious or not, but then who knows 100%? You don't, but yes. Yeah, okay. I also I did a read on Priscilla Presley and Lisa Presley, and I get Priscilla Presley is going to be in the news. Something about Japan and overseas investors, or overseas investors and Japan. I still see a lot of big pharma taking people out, and also, you know, sort of people with third-party involvement, whether it's aided or whatever it is. I don't want to say the name, but I'm reading on someone who's a celebrity who passed away. I need to do part 3, and one of the questions I want to ask is, was it aided? I'm not going to say the singer's name, but now you can maybe guess. There's something about Bidan, and in the background, there seems to be, if it happens or it doesn't happen, there's some kind of like hidden movements of getting ready to maneuver him out. It's interesting. I did a read on Princess Kate and Meghan just yesterday, and I think it's Princess Diana that was seen as the English Rose, but so that I don't trigger anyone's sensitivity around Meghan Markle, I noted Kate as the English Rose, and I'm getting here the red rose. I'm not getting necessarily here, but I'm getting the red rose being very potent, and the love of the red rose, and love in general. And that's not just for necessarily the UK. I think Turkey is going to come up in the news, and it's not going to be great news. Nothing to fear. Let's pull some cards, and I'm going to end this one here. I feel so much better. I don't know, the angst that I was picking up on the collective was awful. Let's have some advice for us, please, Spirit. Now, please check the December part 1 and part 2, because there's advice in there. And it's important to check it. And also, it's timeless whenever you see it. The need of balance. Balance your mental energy. Balance what feeds you and what doesn't feed you. Don't get hooked up on always watching the news, always being hooked or addicted to a certain channel, to things that maybe deplete you or things that don't feed you, but you just are addicted to it. Balance it out. Make sure you're looking after your health at this moment in time. Balance not tapping so much into the fear mongering that might be happening. Balance within you being a light holder in your heart, as opposed to being resentment resenting or from an action of fear, and so you go into the darkness. Dissipating. With this, I'm getting, don't just be so hooked on the media, on everything that's coming in to drag us into a tunnel vision. Don't do that. Pay attention to the canary that's beside you. It might just look like it's small, it's nominal, but you know its voice, if it just does a chirp, might be so soothing where it makes you feel like, I need to get out for a walk, get out for that walk, connect to nature, connect to Mother Earth. That is what we live in, not everything that's around us. Abundance. This is where we've got that fear, the scarcity mindset. We won't be looked after. You know, there's not enough electricity. There's so many people on the streets. There's so many people that are maybe on benefits. I'm talking worldwide. There's so much, I need to work 12 hours and burn myself out and end up being in hospital with stress and a chronic disease because I didn't listen to myself further down the line, earlier on in years, earlier on. And actually, in fact, when I looked at it, when I was burnt out and I took a couple of days off sick, I wasn't fired. I came back and it was fine. And I respected myself because I needed that. Moving away where you can. Don't get caught up into the fear-mongering, the scarcity mindset. That maybe they're trying to, there's a pull-in for that. Feel abundant in your own soul. Release. Release what doesn't serve you. Your soul will be telling you that. Release what makes you feel heavy burdened. I'm not talking about jobs, I'm talking in general. From your daily routine, what's not serving you, release that. Look for the renewal. Don't forget your self-worth. And as a collective, when we realize our self-worth and we don't get dragged into fear, we are stronger. We are holders of the light. We can protest for our voice and we can actually make things either stall or stop. But we need to protest in the right way, yeah. And I'm not advocating protesting, but I'm saying collective voice, collective movement, collective in terms of the light, okay? Grief, letting go of grief, letting go of resentment, trying to heal that, not allowing, when we're in grief and vulnerable states, we tend to allow people with power to overpower us because we are in that vulnerable state. But I mean, I don't know in terms of who's tuning in. Some people might be atheist, but some people might believe in the universe, might believe in Buddha, might believe in God, might believe in Allah, might believe in the angels, might believe in a spirit guide. And if you have something you believe in, that is your faith. Because a human and a human are just the same. When you're vulnerable, you do feel like that human is in a lot more higher power. And there is in our 3D world, people that are in higher power, absolutely, that can take someone else down. But can they actually deteriorate you totally? No. I don't know why I just got there Matthew Perry, because Matthew Perry was, when you're trying to break away from negative energy, it will do everything to try and grab you back. And that could even mean wiping you out. So processing, healing, when you're feeling on those down days, having faith, what I was just saying, having faith. And the amethyst, can you remember in December I said about the amethyst crystal? So I said about it in quite a few readings. Having the inner instinct we have that inner instinct in us. We've not used it all the time because, you know, we've evolved and we're no longer living in the jungle where we need that quick instinct. But when we are in a situation that's in desperado, we do have that quick instinct, and the faith and the God or the angels that we believe in come with us. So have that faith that your instinct is going to kick in. Forgive. Forgive for yourself. That's what I have for you. If you enjoyed it, let me know, and I will start taking notes for the next one. And let's see how this pans out. And take care, and bye for now, everyone. Stay blessed. May we stay protected by God, by the Almighty that we believe in. Let me say that word. And may we be protected by the angels, the light, our spirit guide, the archangels, again, foremost, Almighty God, Allah, whoever you believe in, the universe, the mother of the universe, Mother Earth. May we hold the light, and may we repel the dark and be protected by the dark. And may we have the discernment to know what is right from wrong. May we be blessed, protected, and guided. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.